Hey, we are live. Me and Scott Sackett. We're here on Wednesday, just a little bit late, I guess, according to my computer's clock. I
Yeah,
guess
that's my fault. I had to.
no, it's my
I
fault.
am Oh, okay. If you say so.
Well,
I've been
I
locking
could
up the
start it
building at
any
work.
time. I could do like most of these things do, and just to show all the
Just
mussing
ignore.
around you do before you get it in line. I could have started it
Oh
right
yeah.
at
Well,
7.
you could.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Are,
to. I'm trying to share this.
are you
I don't see a share button.
are you
Am I what?
listening? Are you listening with a delay? Oh, so you're right now. You're on YouTube, right? Is that your only feed of it?
Well, no. No. I mean, my phone is recording, and I have YouTube up on my iPad. But I was going to share it, but I can't. I don't see the share. But oh, here it is. It's in the wrong. Sorry. I like sharing it on Facebook. Anyway, so this week I've had to lock up the building of my work. My work has 8 different buildings
Hmm.
on our campus, as they call it, and because there's one guy that locks up our building every single night. Well, he wanted to go hunting, and so and he was going to be gone this week, and everyone else with a key. There's a handful of people with keys and alarm codes, and literally when I left today, well, today I was every day at 5:30. I've been the only person in the building with a key and an alarm code.
Gives you a sense of
So you
power,
know,
huh? Except I assume that
uh,
you've got cameras all over the place.
yeah. Well, they're cameras, but yeah, I mean, not they're in strategic locations. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Like they're on doors basically. Uh, you know, well, what's funny is tomorrow I'm unlocking the building and locking it up, but we're only working half a day. So, you know, anyway, I wanted to show a couple things that I got
Okay. Let's see. I'll make you the
recently.
big
One of which
screen.
I've had for a while,
Solo
and
layout. There you
I
go.
think you commented on these,
Yeah. Let me look.
Ellis. Uh, so this I've had for a while, and what this is it is 14. I think it's 11 by 14. No, it's 9.5, 9.25 by 14. So it's not quite actual comic page size. Well, actually, it may be because what this is House of M. This is the Blank Ek Nor. I think I'm saying that right. Edition. Now, somebody said, "Why didn't you buy this from America? Why didn't you buy it in English? Because this is in French."
Hmm.
And I saw somebody post this on Amazon about a year ago, year and a half ago, and it is the House of M, which is an 8 issue miniseries drawn by Olivier Coppel or Olivier. I don't know how you say it. He's French, I believe. Anyway, and
Olive.
it's basically the black and white book, but oversized, and it's nice because you can see, modern coloring adds so much to this stuff. But it's nice to see the pen and ink work, and it's a
Oh
really
yeah.
thick paper, by the
That,
way.
that that's always my
So
preference.
it's kind of an essential, but bigger and much higher quality. I think I paid about $50 for this. Like I said, I've had it for a while. It's pretty beat up. It literally took about 8 weeks to get it after I ordered it,
Hmm.
and it was shipped in a box that was oversized and just thrown in with nothing. And
It's just.
and I felt lucky to get it, and so I didn't complain about condition when I got it. Now that I'm
You
not a
mean it
big
was just
Olivier
literally just tum
Coppel
tumble
fan,
tum
but I think he's worth studying.
it
Um,
was just tumbling around in the
just to
box.
see because he gets a lot of work now, and he's well
Can
thought
you hear
of.
me?
One of the more well thought of artists currently working. Anyway, so that's that, and I've had that for a while, and that's pretty cool. Now this I was very excited to get. This is the same edition, but Fear itself, which was I think there's another 8 issue miniseries, also in French. Written, this one was written by Matt Fraction, drawn by Stuart Eminem. I'm a huge Stuart Eminem fan. Um, Now, this isn't my favorite of his work, to be honest with you. I like some other stuff he did, but
Can
this
you
is
hear
pretty
me, Scott?
good.
Can you hear
And
me?
I mean, so,
Can
and
you
I
hear
got this a
me?
couple days ago, or yesterday, day before, something like that. And the story's terrible, by the way, but the art is just cool, you
Scott has
know.
some new headphones on, and they're
Anyway, so I
noise
got this,
canceling.
and
And
I'll
I think
spend
I
a
may
little bit of
actually
time
be classified at
over
this
the next couple
point
weeks
as
looking at
noise.
these.
So there.
Certainly, it's cool to see the art so big and like I said in black and white, and you can really, when you enlarge this stuff up, you can really see what they're doing, in a lot of ways. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool, and so I thought I would share that with you and the audience. Um, anyway, I was gonna say something else. I can't remember what, but anyway, I picked that up. I thought that was pretty cool. The second one, and both of them cost me between 40 and $50 a piece. Um, and that was the latest thing I've picked up recently. I think that the audience might be interested in.
So
How about
Scott,
you?
there
You
was
said you were getting a book,
hey Scott,
Ellis.
I'll write to Scott. Scott,
Oh, you hear both of us? Uh-oh. I don't hear Ellis. Yes, Ellis. Can you hear me, Ellis?
can you hear me? No, you can't. Scott has new headphones. I'm not sure what he's got going on. He did a big kind of preamble with me about how he was trying to avoid all
Waiting for
technical
Ellis to
issues that were
answer.
going to
This
come
is
up by
riveting.
having some great new hardware.
I have no control over this
I
because
know he doesn't.
if you can hear both of us, I'm going to leave and come back,
Okay,
and we'll see
that's
where
probably
that
the best
goes.
thing.
Uh, anyway, okay, hang on.
It. You know what? It was very what do you call it? Emotionally annoying. It was annoying, is what it was, to feel like Scott was ignoring me. But of course, he wasn't ignoring me. He didn't hear me. It felt like I was being, you know, tormented. Him not giving me any feedback. My book, until Scott gets back, I got to pay attention for when he tries to get back. Is I was so blown away by my recent re-watching of History of Violence. Here we go. Let's see if we get him back. Hey, Scott, what's up?
Hey, can you hear me now? I can hear
I
you.
can hear you. Okay, if you can hear me, we're good.
Yeah, we're
Excellent.
good. Could you hear me, Ellis?
No, could not hear you. I could hear you. You could not hear me. Very obviously, I'm just
Yeah.
practically. I'm yelling at you a couple of times. Hey, hey, do you hear me? I don't know why I thought I'd get out of raising my voice, but
I got at one point I could tell that it kind of, I don't know, it sounded like I lost you.
okay.
You know, I don't know what was going on. Anyway, sorry about that to the
Yeah.
audience. Did you have something to ask about my purchase, or
Uh,
were you?
I did ask about. You say that book just arrived. It was just like loosely just bouncing around in a oversized box.
Yes,
Wow,
yes.
that would be annoying to have a big expensive art book that got treated like that.
Oh yeah, both of them are. Now the second one wasn't near as damaged. It was a lot better shape, but both of them came from UK Amazon with a box that was oversized. There was those pillow things,
Uh
but
huh.
it was on top of them. They filled the bottom of it, put it on top of it, threw it in the crate.
Uh huh. You know what?
I was not
I may
happy.
have caused it when I suggested you go landscape mode. Who knows what you did when you did that instead of what you've got right now? Uh,
Well, my phone is
no, no. I tell
sideways.
you what, you've got the best idea for this format, and that's what we'll stick with.
Okay, I don't know what it's doing, but
Okay. No, it's good.
if it works, it works. Actually, I think my picture's sideways.
No, yeah, your picture is kind of sideways, but
There. How about
yeah,
this? Is
there you go.
that better?
Hmm. As long as you can still hear me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can hear. Yes.
Okay.
What? No, I can't hear you. So, were you on Doug's show today?
No, I missed that. He he invited me, so I plug in and I'm on there for 5 minutes, and I finally look up and said show ended 50 minutes ago. So I missed that. And Doug, the big news there is he's up to 110,000 people at last count following him on YouTube.
Good
And
grief.
he made a throwaway comment that I forget what the time that has to pass before you get this amount, but he threw out the amount of 18K. I don't know if that's a month or what, but 18K a month would be nice with a 100K audience. You know, to get
Oh,
that
to
much
make that, you're talking about that much cash?
money.
Yeah, that would be
Well,
nice.
yeah, it'd be 180. It'd be $200,000 a year. Wow, that'd be amazing.
The mind boggles.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, these YouTube guys can make a ton of money.
Well, yeah, and of course the key is that that thing. I sent a message back to Doug that I think it's kind of odd because I have not unsubscribed to anybody. I've gone to the trouble of subscribing, and subscribing is such a casual act. It's like, I kind of halfway like that. I've got guys that are subscribed to me on my one channel that's bigger than my channel with this channel,
Yeah.
where I know they're just following me because I did a one pinstriping video that I shared with Big Daddy Roth and Von Dutch. And I got all of that because they're waiting for that to happen again.
Yeah.
And of course, but the deal is they haven't unsubscribed. And so all that goodwill you get out of anything, you still get that subscription number,
Well,
which is kind of cool.
But your income is based on views.
Yeah. I imagine.
I mean,
true.
subscriptions. No, that's true. That's 100% true.
Oh, it's 100% true.
And they even got it down. Yeah, I watched a video about that recently.
Oh.
They've even got it to the point that if people log in and watch like the first 5 minutes and then tap out early, so
interesting.
They can tell a lot by people that are viewing. They have a lot of information about. And,
I wonder if they can tell if you automatically first 5 seconds click get rid of the ads. They probably can. I'm sure they can. Probably.
Maybe. But you can't get rid of all the ads.
No. Some of them are the smart ones are designed to last exactly as long as they last. I mean, they say your program will recommence after you see this ad.
Yep.
Those are the smart ones. And of course, if they're also smart, they're keeping them short and sweet.
Yeah, and entertaining.
Yeah. That's, and nobody's disproven that this might be the best way to advertise. But you remember in TV advertising where the campaigns that were obviously designed to be just so annoying, you were looking for somebody to hit with a bat. And within the minute that they were shown, it's like, I will kill that guy if I ever see him, the guy that designed that ad. And what was that one where you had to hold something to your forehead to relieve your headache pain? And they just repeated the tagline over and over again to the point of driving you insane. And if you were in some sort of block of entertainment where you were getting that ad 20 times an hour, oh my gosh. But at the same time,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, maybe I could even find the ad.
You don't have to.
Okay. I'm going to find it now.
Oh, great.
The old headache ad.
The old headache ad.
I don't know of any other better search.
Yeah, you may have to work on that.
Yeah, I'll have to
your
work
search terms may suck, dude.
the old head, and I got geriatric headaches.
Okay, so it's the end of the year. New Year's evening is tomorrow, and I
Oh, is
have
it?
this sketchbook, and I've had the sketchbook since oh gosh, let me find the date in here. A lot years. I bought it in New York City. It's a Fabriano artist journal. I think I've had it since 16, and I am about 4 pages away from finishing it. And it's
Excellent.
like, and so and this sketchbook has like 400 pages, I think. And I've always said I want to start one of these on January 1st. So I've
So you got
decided
you got a you got a new one already, huh?
I've got several. Dick Blick had them on sale, and I bought four.
Oh, they're
So
great sketchbooks. They feel like opening a Bible. They're that well
yeah,
bound.
they're a nice little compact size, and they're thick. Yeah, they're great sketchbooks.
Hmm.
Cannot recommend them enough. Except the binding, I've had to glue mine.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah,
that's what
I
I
had to.
thought was really well made, just how well they're bound.
Well, the pages stay together, but the cover came off.
Oh, okay.
But and I've had mine. You went through yours pretty quick, relatively.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't
So
torment it with a lot of openings.
yeah, and you didn't draw exclusively in yours, which I didn't either, obviously, or done. But anyway, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, starting a new sketchbook, and then because I have oh, I have these moleskins. I may bust out a moleskin. I don't know. I haven't decided. I feel like a new year I should open a new sketchbook or start a new sketchbook.
What is your do you are you going to do something that
That what?
I think you should write your own project. I think you should make it a point that you do you think you have a fear of success with a self-written project? Because
What?
supposedly that's a bigger fear than a fear of failure. Is
What?
supposedly you fear success more than failure. You haven't ever
I
heard that?
has anything about my personality ever made you think that I would be afraid of success?
Not writing your own project
Why would I write my own project?
because you would own it outright, and it would
Well,
become a thing where you promoted it, and everything that occurred because of it was due to you.
yeah, but the problem with that is I have a project that's out there, hadn't come out yet, but it's in the process, which I haven't seen any colored pages yet, by the way, which is a little frustrating. But the book is out there. I've got a book out there. It just needs to come out, and then. But I mean, I work. I'm working with a writer, or I worked with a writer, so that I knew it would get published. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Uh, the alternative. I mean, I don't have 108,000 subscribers on YouTube where I can put my book on.
Right. So it'd be more of a fear of failure in terms of not having your
Oh
own
yes.
personal
Oh
project.
yeah. I mean, I don't know about fear, but yeah, sure. I don't do my own project because I don't. I mean, I've done little things here and there, but
You don't think it would get big enough?
well, yeah, I think I'd had trouble selling it.
Hmm.
You know, uh, the only thing I've worked on that's been published really is or that's supposedly going to be published is Heaven's Rejects, and that was because the writer already had a track record at the publisher. But I mean, I've created stuff and submitted it, and it's never worked. You know, that was the whole thing was I wanted to find a writer, or I was advised to find a writer that had kind of a track record that I could work with.
Nasser says we can work together, Scott. Ellis loves my writing. He'd be happy to see us work together. Nasser,
Uh,
Nasser is just like you, Scott. He's got this overinflated sense of self worth. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Um,
send me a script. Send me if you got an idea, send me your idea. If it sounds good, we can talk.
He's got a million ideas.
Uh
I've recently sent him a reaction to a script where, I showed my age. I said, well, Nasser, this most reminds me of the old Bob Hope comic books.
Yeah, who?
Bob Hope.
Bob
It's
Hope.
like, that's a real good
That's
reference
even
for.
before your time.
I know it was before my time. Yeah, Bob Hope stretches way back.
Speaking of, so Christmas Day, I had a little bit of free time. I don't know if I've told you this, but I have the omnibus editions. You know what omnibus editions are? They're the big, thick
Yeah,
collections.
try to be almost completist with one writer or something.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever. But it's got about 35 issues in it. I have the first one of the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, and the X-Men. And so on Christmas Day, I read the X-Men book. I read the first, I think it's 35 or 36 issues of X-Men I read, which was crazy. And I think tomorrow or sometime this weekend, I'm going to read the Avengers one. And I've thought about reading that in my email, Nasser, is Scott D. Sackett, that's SACKETT, at gmail.com.
It might be in our, people, Scott, usually try to keep that, act like it's poison to reveal stuff like that because of this and that. But really, anybody could do a search for Scott and find his email. Probably the same with me.
Oh, I've got my phone number on my webpage. I mean, I'm not too worried about it.
You're not worried about being contacted.
I don't have to answer it if it rings. So
yeah, that's right.
Whether you're going to come by my house and start something,
I
think my home address is on my webpage, actually.
Yeah, I know it. Nasser has got a whole bunch of movie unboxings. Everybody's looking for that magic thing where they get a whole lot of subscribers and everything. Nasser's recently gone to the links of unboxing stuff and movies he's sent for and showing movies he's going to be watching. That's a good idea. You get a little. Everybody loves movies. Everybody loves dogs. Everybody loves cats.
Yeah, I don't know about the cats thing, but so speaking of my YouTube channel is up to 142 subscribers now.
Wow. Well, I mean,
not long ago it was like 30. So I mean, I've made some pushes. If anybody watching this has not subscribed to me on YouTube,
it's in the links. It's in the information.
Yeah, I'm trying to get 150,000 like Doug.
Yeah, there
so
you go.
I can make that sweet 18K a day or whatever it is.
I wonder how much that is. If it's I'll have to go back and review what he said. But again, like you say,
mind your own business, Ellis.
It's going to have. Oh yeah. It's going to have to. Oh, Nasser's already sent you a sample script.
Okay. I haven't read it yet. Hey, you know what? If you're hungry, you got to take advantage of opportunities. And not to say that working with me is an opportunity, but
Well, I may be throwing out a wrong impression of Nasser, but I have a feeling he's this really rich kid that has no need of money. He's doing the art for art's sake.
Oh yeah, that's the best way to be. That's how I am.
So he can afford to pay you as a freelancer $100. No, I'm lying about it.
Yeah, put money.
I'm lying about it.
Take money right out of his mouth there.
Yeah.
Thank you for sending the sample script. I'll look at it and we'll talk. I'll just have to see what you got in mind and I'll look at it and see if it's.
Well, Nasser, he won't do anything real vulgar. He's got his own editor in that way. He's not going to. He's not going to be like that thing I did. The
dominatrix.
The dominatrix euthanasia killer thing that I went to the trouble of doing.
Which part of that most offended you? The dominatrix or the euthanasia?
I don't know why I did that. I did it for money. That's why I did it.
That's why you did it. There's don't be. You needed the money.
Yeah, I did.
Did you not need the money?
I did need the money. Yeah, I needed it.
You know.
And it used my talent
I wouldn't, you know.
But it was a guy that apparently, like these people you hooked up with for Heaven's Rejects, they are successful people. That's the deal. When you realize that people that you don't think like have what you think should even be a toehold on success with what they've presented to you, and then you realize no, because they've made the effort, they are successful with what you consider beneath what you could be doing. And then you realize I need to put some effort into
Boy,
this stuff.
you're
Yeah.
putting words in my mouth. I never said that about Heaven's Rejects.
No, 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 no.
You're
I'm
talking about your project.
extrapolating on my reactions to seeing stuff like what I freelanced for. I'm sorry. I don't want to
Okay.
act like you're
No, no, no. I'm very happy to be working with SourcePoint Press, and I cannot wait until my book comes out. And I hope it's so successful that I can no longer afford to be on your show.
Xander's Rants. Hi, what's happening? Finally have time to see you when you are doing this live. Hey, Xander.
Hey, thanks
Natasha
for joining us.
International. Just got back from getting hot wings.
Oh man.
Just make her with a heart of gold. Yeah, supposedly her heart of gold is why she helps euthanize people. She
Oh yeah.
gives them great sex right before she kills them.
Oh well. Okay.
You know, I
That's a
think we can
thing.
all get behind that.
Well, better than getting you. Never mind.
Hey, there's worse ways to die.
There
Yes.
are worse ways to die. Yes.
General Grudge says, "Hello, guys."
Hey,
General General Grudge had some interesting posts recently, and if I could remember what they were, I'd
but
tell
you
you
were
about
impressed
them.
with you were impressed with him.
Yeah, I was impressed with them. No, I forget what the main topics were. The thing I follow mostly, and this is what Doug is taking advantage of. People want to hear optimistic stuff about Trump continuing to be president,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's what he's done. He's given us optimism with his news reading
But
bits.
is he reading? I keep seeing those. Is he reading news or is he just talking?
He is talking, but he's also not just streaming. They're edited and everything else. So he's going to a little extra trouble
Oh yeah.
and showing
And I,
you little snippets of this and that. And that little bit of extra trouble. This streaming stuff is pretty lazy. You don't have
oh,
to you don't have
absolutely.
to tell
That's why
anybody
we're
that.
doing it.
Yeah,
That's why we're
exactly.
doing it.
That's, that's why I can warm up to it.
Hey,
It's
let's face it though. We would not be doing this except for the fact that we don't get to hang out, and this is an opportunity to converse.
right.
I mean, we've done it longer. The pandemic. It's not pandemic related. It's more. I mean, if you lived next door, we probably wouldn't do this. You know. You
Yeah.
live just far enough away that you know. But
Xander makes a good point here, and this goes on. I mean, this is the sort of thing that everyone is aware you're doing it, and it is a what would you call it? A hierarchy. It's like if you get on my show, what do you bring to the mix? And Doug inviting me, it's always kind of a mystery to me why he invites me anyway. But
because he likes you.
he likes me. Uh, but like you say, my subscriptions would probably go up, a couple of hundred
Oh,
if I
oh,
showed up on Doug's show with a mind to promote.
and as a result, mine would ultimately go up because they would watch our show.
That's
So
right. Yep, there
get
you
on that
go.
show, dude.
Yeah, yeah. There's a
uh,
promotion involved. You bet.
Life's too short to. I mean, I don't know. I'm fortunate that I don't rely on any of this stuff for income or I have a good day job and I mean it's not great but it's good enough that I'm the comic thing is just something I'm doing because I like comics because I love
Mhm.
comics.
Well, and again, the smart thing to do would be to, if you wanted those big numbers, it wouldn't be comics that you talked about.
Oh yeah, no.
It would be
I would.
games,
Yeah.
movies, etc.
Oh, you mean
Some
as a
other pop culture thing.
Oh, you mean as a topic or just to work on?
Oh, just as topics that you were interested in.
I do a podcast called Scott at Midnight. Haven't done an episode in a while. I'm kind of falling behind, and I just talk about whatever. You would never guess what my highest ranked show is. Well, you probably don't know what my shows are. I did a show about architecture. I just talked about architecture that I liked, and that show, that one has gotten like quadruple of anything.
Right behind cats and dogs. Everybody likes their architecture.
Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah, I think people do. I mean, it's kind of weird. One of my favorite shows on Netflix is I forget what it's called, Outrageous Homes or something like that, where you just go around to rich people's house and they've given them the keys and they just wander around, talk about how great these houses
MTV
are.
Cribs.
Yeah, it's the lifestyles of the rich and famous, basically.
Oh yeah, I don't like that.
With another format.
We used to watch a show on Sunday nights called Extreme Homes, and I like that. I like the homes fell. The answer, Natasha, no, it snowed here about 10 o'clock, very lightly. It didn't even stick on the grass. But the show, they would show houses that were like, very expensive, designed by an architect kind of houses. And then they would show houses where people like remodeled a fire station they were living in.
Sure.
Gas
Yeah.
station.
I watch all that stuff on YouTube all the time. That's the best stuff.
And that was pretty cool. I like I like the fire station. I like the repurposed homes.
Yeah.
Didn't care so much for I've spent, $10 million on this. To me, if you spend a lot of money, you're going to get a cool looking house.
Sure.
That takes some effort.
Xander Rance says, just tell people you know who Zippy is, and right when you're going to say who he is, turn off your show. Now, I think I get the reference. He's just making a big comment about that how newscasts typically do things. They do a tease, they do the lead, and then they never get around to saying anything about it until the very end. They give you the most interesting thing. Explosion reveals dinosaur, and then the whole thing, you're there for that, but you have to watch 25 minutes of other programming before they get around to the explosion revealing the dinosaur bones. And that's why I think that's what he's talking about with put your headline, do a clickbait, a headline about Zippy, and Zippy's really hot.
Who's Zippy?
I don't think it matters. And,
I thought Zippy was referring to something specific.
No, I think he's making a generic. He can tell us if I'm wrong about that, but I think he's making a generic thing of interest, a clickbait notion, and then you just put that out as your clickbait, your bait, and then you don't talk about it. Oh, Michael Malice did that the other day. He was going to talk about his very popular podcast with Alex Jones and Tim Pool. And then he never talked about it. And it was one of those where he's got enough guys that they can give him money on the I forget how you monetize, what they call it, super chats or whatever. And he was just there with his clickbait to get all these super chats, which I thought was funny. And he never discussed it. He never got around to discussing the clickbait topic, which is kind of funny.
I'm surprised Alex Jones is still around.
Man, they tried to do away with him. They really did.
It's like, hey, not only can you not be on, it's like, we're going to banish you from every social media. Oh, and we're going to take away his bank account and take away every possible way
they took away his PayPal kind of stuff. Yeah, they've got so many ways to come at you when they decide they don't like you, man.
And And yeah, and it's like, yeah, oh, but there's no such thing as cancel culture. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Oh man.
it's like, oh, bull. Ask Alex Jones. That's gonna be my next response. Anytime I read somebody talking about cancel, of course they'll get fixated on Alex Jones and Sandy Hook. You know,
Zippy is Q apparently. So that's the
who's Q?
Zippy is the main, I guess, source for QAnon, which everyone wants to
Oh,
know
okay.
all the facts about QAnon. So if you claim to know it, that would be perfect clickbait.
Gotcha.
To
I don't know anything about QAnon. I know it's a controversial news source. That's it.
well, what's annoying to me is I've never been sure that I actually connected with the allegedly true source of it. Was I only getting the stuff off to the side that was coming through other
Yeah.
things, or did I actually connect with what everybody's talking about? I never could tell. It was kind of annoying because I wanted to hear all that, whatever anybody was having to say that might be controversial, but I could never be clear that I had it.
You know what I know about QAnon? This is what I know about. Oh wait, no. Is what's Onan? Is that the same thing?
No, Onan is in the Bible. That's where you. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's not what. That's pretty good.
You're
Good
Onan.
hopping. Du- oh, no.
It's
There's a
called
news network.
onanism. Onanism. Yes.
That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, I know what.
Okay, go ahead.
Good Bible reference there. Nice,
Yeah.
nice. If you got to pull something out of your hat to reference the Bible, that's a good one, Ellis.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I know who Zippy the Unicorn is. I'm just kidding. I don't
Oh,
know who he is. He sent me. He's on my. He can direct mail me anytime he wants to with his
oh,
true
Doug, guy
identity.
in Doug's show. Oh, somebody in Doug's show.
Yeah, yeah. Zippy the Unicorn. He's funny. He's consistently funny.
Alex Jones was right only once, and no one talks about it. When was he right? I mean, I'm not saying he was ever wrong. I don't. I used to listen to him, but he just got too.
Well, yeah. I mean, Alex Jones only has to make you mad once before you're pretty sure you don't want to ever hear anything about him again. But
Well, he's the opposite of Rush Limbaugh. To me, Rush Limbaugh is
he's
entertaining to listen to.
and
He's
never wrong.
very listenable,
Yeah,
and he doesn't overdo it with advertising. He doesn't do. And Alex Jones is exactly the opposite. He
yeah.
goes too much advertising, too much, and so as a result, if you fall out of the habit, and it's Alex Jones show's 3 hours, or it was when I listened to it. I'd get his podcast
Hmm.
when he was still on iTunes, and I'd listen to it. And I thought it was interesting, but then I'd be like, I've listened for 3 hours, and I've probably heard him talk for about 20 minutes. He was advertising way too much stuff, and so when he got impossible to find, I'd get behind and just be like, okay, I'm not listening to him,
Yeah, yeah.
and some of this that Sandy Hook stuff was too out
Yeah,
there.
well, that's what he's still having to work his way out of that. They've got very he's got money he's got to pay to some people over that.
Oh yeah, well that's a little ridiculous because how does he have to pay, but Twitter doesn't have to pay for various things that people. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
I
yeah,
know he's
damage
saying it.
done. Yeah, is
Yeah,
you have to gauge those things, but
yeah. He
yeah,
did. He did.
when
Who did he hurt in Sandy Hook? I mean, I'm not saying he was right. I think he was wrong, obviously.
yeah,
But were there other than people with their feelings hurt? I mean, was he? Anyway, I don't know. I didn't want to get this to Alex. Yeah, Alex
his
Jones
his
uncovered the Bilderberg Group. Yeah, but he went to Bohemian Grove too. I mean, if you've never seen that footage, that's pretty eerie. And I mean,
with all the Yaleys out there burning
well,
stuff.
I mean, it's more than that. It's really weird. And I think it's just rich people being weird, but it's not what they want you to see.
Yeah, it's
You
it's
know,
it's networking, and there's nothing more powerful than networking. That's what
well,
the Bilderberg Group is the ultimate network of. Hey, you're a billionaire too. Golly,
yeah,
you do realize how hard it is for me to meet other billionaires. It's great to see you. And
yeah.
so these guys, when that sort of force gets together, and a little, a little bit of oil on the water in
I
terms
think
of
you're
like
letting them
how.
off too light. You're letting. I disagree that you're letting them off too light. I think there's a little more to it than just hanging out with people like you. But I think it's like hanging out with people like you, and then how can we change the world in our to match our viewpoint kind of thing.
I'm not sure you
Which
disagreed with me. I'm never mind. Xander Rant says, "Is Doug giving you royalties for my voice in Earthworm Jim?" No, no, there are no royalties to be had for that. It's just, as a matter of
now
fact,
wait,
I wasn't even working for the company that Doug was working for. Shiny. I never worked for Shiny. Now that's an
your
interesting period. Okay,
your
go
voice
ahead.
is in Earthworm Jim. Your
It's
voice is
not
in Earth.
actually it's him imitating me. So yeah, there's another removal from royalties. You can't go after somebody for imitating you. Doug got sued
Um.
for by somebody that felt like he had copied his ideas when Doug went to uh, one of those copy places. Uh,
What? A copy place? What?
yeah, Xerox place that
Like a Kinko's?
yeah, like a Kinko's, and Doug had
Wait.
listened to a guy that wanted to be listened to, and then Doug had an idea later, a pitch that the guy felt like was too close to his idea. This is
Oh yeah. This is why you
why
can't
nobody
get in.
accepts unsolicited anything
Right.
because
That's why it's impossible to break into entertainment.
yeah, exactly, and that's why that's why Nasser is box office poison. Is that I'm just kidding,
You
but
sued somebody.
but if like if Nasser sends you that script and then
Oh yeah.
you finally write one yourself, that Nasser decides that's Scott. Everybody knows he doesn't have an idea in his head.
Even Ellis
Uh,
said it.
Even Ellis said it, and I can get Ellis probably to back me up on this lawsuit. So
Yeah,
it's
well, I've decided the way to get out of lawsuits is to shoot your way out. So
yeah, yeah.
I'm
Well,
just putting that out there.
you remember that one lawyer that was it's just amazing. It was a miracle you can see on video. This guy's mad at him and he's shooting at him point blank range.
Oh
And
yeah, in the courtroom.
well, no. This is outdoors, and the only thing keeping him with any sort of cover is this skinny little tree that he's able to run around.
Oh
And that guy was unable to put a bullet in him. Oh,
well,
because he got so active.
I'm
Look,
I'm not that bad.
Nasser wouldn't interpret that emoticon. That means Nasser is baffled by what I'm saying, I guess, or he's ready to sue me.
or me.
Yeah, or me. Yeah, or you. No, we're kidding, Nasser. Nasser though does have issues. He's
Issues?
got collaborator issues. Yeah, he's got very
Oh really?
famous collaborator issues where he did write a script for somebody and then later on wasn't paid what they kind of like either agreed to or whatever. I'm
Oh that
sure they're
sucks.
yeah,
That sucks.
and it's it's fairly high. What do you
High
call it?
dollar.
It's known. It's known. It's well known.
Oh really?
Nasser's trouble with that.
Well,
Yeah, all these collaborations when there are is the crowdfunding. I don't know how that gets done. When you're if you get one or more in it, I mean, how do you split that money up other than having it go to one source? You'd have to have it go to one place first, I assume.
I would never collaborate on something with somebody I didn't trust. Now
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I have worked with people that I went in going, I don't think I trust this person, but this is an opportunity. I
Hmm.
will not do that again. I will miss out on an opportunity rather. And now the exception being if they worked for Marvel or DC, because I wouldn't trust any of them people.
Yeah.
but I mean, in terms of like another writer, yeah, I wouldn't work with them if I didn't trust them. Uh, you know, just because why? Life's too short. It's going to end bad. Even if you think it's a great opportunity, it probably isn't. I Man, did I ever tell you the story about I was working on a book one time and I was doing issue 2 of this comic book and they sent me issue 1. The writer contacted me and said, "Well, my artist quit. I want you to draw. Would you be willing to draw issue 2?" So I said, "Yeah." And so they sent me issue 1 because it had all the characters in it,
Hmm.
and they sent me a script. But they sent me a page every couple of weeks of the script. And it just drug on forever. They send it and I draw it and I inked it. I inked the whole book. And I get down to a certain point and the guy doesn't like my design for one of the characters. It's like, oh,
Hmm.
there's this character and I forget there's something on the like I think he killed somebody on the stairs of the courthouse or something. And he said, well, you design him, and he was supposed to be wearing a shirt, kind of like the old Luke Cage not Iron Fist, Power Man. Luke Cage, Power Man, kind of a puffy shirt kind of deal.
Hmm.
And so I drew him, and I drew the shirt, and I kind of designed it. Well, he didn't like my design, and so we kept going back and forth on the design. And so then the guy said, well, skip those pages and I'll have somebody else draw them. And so he sent me the rest of the book and I drew it and I sent it to him. And I never heard back from that guy. Okay. Not uncommon in comics, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But so then, so, so then I go, a couple of years later, I go to this Chicago Comic Con, Wizard World Chicago. And I'm walking around and I see, and I'm at Artist Alley, I'm looking at these pages and I go, this looks familiar. And I go, what book was this on? And the guy told me the name and I go, was this issue 2? And the guy goes, yeah. And I go, I was supposed to draw that. And the guy was the original artist. And and the writer apparently went back to him, had him redraw my pages as layout. I'd use my pages as layouts, redraw them, and then he never paid him for the deal. But it's like,
But he gave him comp copies or something to where they were on that table.
no, he had his original art on the table,
Oh, it was
and
just
I'm looking,
original art.
I'm flipping through it, and I'm going, God, this looks familiar, and I realized it was the guy had taken my art and either lightboxed it or something, or redrawn it kind of in his style. He had changed it up a little bit, but not very much. And he's like, "Oh yeah, that guy." And of course, I go, "These are the pages I drew." And the guy goes, "Oh yeah, the writer hired me to draw them, and he gave me your page." And he's like, "I didn't want to use them, but he made me." And I wasn't really mad at him because, I mean, I thought it was kind of skeevy, but whatever. He ended up getting. He said he got screwed on the deal too. He claimed.
Well,
Who
I'm
knows?
sure. I'm sure he did.
Yeah, I mean, if the guy screwed me, he'd screw him. But you know, it was just
Well,
like,
I remember back in the I guess it's the '80s, early '80s. I was going around to cons and stuff, and it seemed like to me that the whole industry was learning how to sue itself silly. And one of the things, it's kind of like when you know that a web address is going to be hot, just common sense that some sort of combination of words is going to be hot, and
yeah,
you can get it first. Like you're stealing something from Coca-Cola and you know it before they can get to it.
Yeah.
And it seemed like there was stuff like that going on in comic books with like old properties and stuff like that. Uh, Things like, having a big fight over something like Thunder Agents or something, just by getting in the door first and claiming a right here or there.
Oh yeah. Well, I think it's because
This is yeah, Natasha
I learned to
International.
draw from Frank Cho. What these people want? No kidding.
Yeah, Frank
Well,
Cho is a good guy to go to for drawing women.
I did a deal one time. Oh, for God, he wrote a book, and I was at a local comic thing, and he saw me, and we got to talking, and he wanted me to draw his this cover for this book of his. So he gave me the description, and I drew it. Oh, and then he emailed me complaining about something or another. Oh, it wasn't cart. He wanted something very cartoony looking, but he never told me that. And nothing in my portfolio indicated. I mean, I'm talking like he wanted like a Disney princess kind of cartoony looking,
Uh
And it's like, well, why'd you hire me?
huh.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
you're not. Thank you for this job. That's just a pain in the neck, and I end up quitting. I think he, to be his credit, I think he actually paid me. But
Gave you a kill fee for it all, huh?
yeah, it wasn't a lot of money, but I mean, he he was trying to do the right thing. I think he just didn't really know what he wanted, and then when he saw my art, he's like, what's? And I think sometimes on stuff like that, I think people get in people's ear and they're like, well, I don't like that. I run
Hmm.
to that work where we'll do a design for something, and it'll go like to one person, and then they have to take it to their boss, and it's just like you end up where like, well, the boss doesn't like it, so then it's like, oh crap.
Well, that's the ultimate. If the boss doesn't like it, boy, I can't tell you how much we've changed perfectly good artwork based on a boss reaction in video games. Xander Rants says, "What do you consider a really good comic?" I read all the Batman movies that everyone says are good, and I feel the movies that took from it are far better than the original comics themselves. The movies that, yeah, so the Batman comics you're saying that everyone says are good, and feel like the movies that are better than the original comics. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you get a little more effort going into movies. You get a lot more art pre-production and concepting that goes on than a person could possibly afford to bring to bear on a comic book.
The
Uh, and you get great actors,
I
acting
don't
it out.
the thing about like to use the Batman movies, I don't know. I mean, everyone taught like when the first Michael Keaton Batman came out, everyone said, "Oh, it reminds me of the Dark Knight Returns." But if you read it, it's nothing like the Michael Keaton Batman movie. So
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well,
But
that
the
that was that
Batman
was kind of
stuff, I don't know
beautiful.
what.
Well, what you're getting with that first Batman movie is Tim Burton when he was, uh, you know, really hot and showing off being Tim Burton. That's uh,
Yeah,
that's a big part of what that is.
yeah. Uh, I, for me, I mentioned earlier I'm going to read the omnibuses of the X-Men and the Avengers. I'm a big Bronze Age comic guy. I recently picked up the Marvel Universe John Byrne omnibus, and it has a three issue Avengers arc that I just think is perfect comics because it starts in one place. There's a lot of parts that move around, and it ends up there's a lot of action. There's a lot of stuff happening, but it doesn't nobody dies. There's no real change. It's the illusion of change, and it's well drawn. It's drawn by John Byrne and inked by Pablo Marcos. And I just think it's 164, 165, 166 Avengers. If you want to look at it, it's the Count Nefarious saga. It's just kind of it's written by Jim Shooter. It's just a well-written, well-drawn kind of comic. And that's the kind of comic I like. I don't like comics that have that have people moping. I want something that has action. I want something that has heroic heroes
Has
and
character
bad
moments. Has
villains.
character moments. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to read about. They got the comic shop said, "Oh, you should read this issue of Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl is the greatest comic." And so he lent it to me, or he said, take it if you like it, pay for it if you don't, bring it back. And I brought it back, but it was like she goes to college and she I don't know has trouble in college and it was just this it was a soap opera
It was
the best.
introspective. Yeah.
Well, there was no action to counterpoint it.
Yeah.
To me that kind of thing was best handled by in Spider-Man. Old Spider-Man about issue I don't know 150-ish, something like that. Spider-Man got it had soap opera elements, but it didn't it wasn't all soap opera. So I got a comic. I'll show this comic on camera.
Okay. Natasha International said she read this one of 2000s, mid 2000s Silver Surfer where he's dying and Galactus couldn't do anything about him. So he went around saying goodbye to all his friends, which that sounds like a cool concept. I like that idea.
That's a good one shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, don't make the whole comic about that. I mean, don't make the whole series about that. So this is 193 of The Amazing Spider-Man. I had this when I was a kid. I'd recently found it in my long boxes. It was kind of stuck in an odd spot. And it's Keith Pollard art, Marv Wolfman scripts, and Jim Mooney finishes. And I love this art. I think this art is great. I love this shot of Spider-Man. You can tell he's outside the Daily Bugle. Could you see the word "day" right there?
Yeah. That's where the audience's desire to not be given everything. Yeah. And they fill it in the blank themselves. Yeah.
Well, it just wouldn't fit in there. But
yeah.
But I mean, every one of the camera moves around.
Yeah.
Every one of these, it's there's not a tricky layout.
Right.
And there is a lot of wording there, and it's a drama moment. It's not an action moment, but it works. And so here we see, okay, now he's Spider-Man. He's going. Now we see this guy is breaking into, or he's doing something at the museum. And then we switch scenes to burglar. And now we show Spider-Man. And he breaks into the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City, which looks like this. He's on the ceiling, he's looking, somebody sees him, they're shooting at him, he's stealing stuff out of the display. It's just, I mean, to me, this is cool. This is a cool comic. There's a lot going, there's a lot on this page.
What year is that comic book? What year is that comic book?
1979, June 79.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Some of that era. Look at that thing; it's about to crumble. Amazing.
Oh, no! Bite your tongue. This is my comic book. This is currently my favorite comic book I own, and these artists completely went under my radar. I knew Keith Pollard was. I had no idea who Jim Mooney was, except for in Marvel Comics: The Untold Story. In the 40s, they said that Stan Lee hung out with Jim Mooney. And the same Jim Mooney worked in comics all that time. But to me, this is just really well drawn. It's just a nice, Bronze Age kind of art. I love this art. I'd love to be able to draw exactly like this.
See, Xander Rant says, I'm more specifically talking about Batman Year One and Long Halloweens, also known as Batman Begins and Dark Knight. Long Halloweens. That's another name for Batman Begins? Maybe. I don't know.
No. Long Halloween is a Batman story. And Batman Year One, of course, is Batman Year One. And then he's saying that the two of them kind of became Batman Begins. I think that's probably true. It's been a little while since I've read Long Halloween. I think I have it around here, but maybe I don't have it.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a DC guy.
And comparing it to a lot of what people say, the manga is better than the anime. Yeah. Well, that is fairly often interesting. Well, okay, now while Scott isn't showing something, I'll show something that I've probably already started on this at one point and quit on it. But A History of Violence, this just arrived today.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I saw the movie and was very interested in the movie as, a perfect little bit of storytelling. Then I read the trivia that Cronenberg didn't even know it was a comic book. Probably would not have been interested. He hates comic book movies, and they probably couldn't have got him interested in doing the movie if he knew it was a comic book. But I'm looking at it, and I can tell it's going to be just a totally different experience. We'll see how many of the plot points are in here. But so looking forward to compare and contrasting that. If you want good Batman comics, go. Oh yeah, Archie Goodwin and Simonson. Yeah, that's the team for that.
Yeah.
I met Archie Goodwin at a Tulsa Comic Con that was maybe as early as 1980 or may have been late 70s. We went up in the elevator together. That same convention, I went up in the elevator with James Doohan, and I think it probably headed to the same place each time. There's a, what do you call it? The party suite for the con. yeah, at the penthouse. Yeah.
Well, Archie Goodwin's from Oklahoma, isn't he?
Yes, I know. Yes, that's right. One of our biggest favorite sons. Natasha International was asking us if we got snow earlier. Not as far as I know.
It's snow. My new office has windows, not Microsoft Windows, but has windows, and it snowed a little bit just in the air at I think it's around 9:30, 10:30, something like that. It was before lunch. It was very brief, very light.
Yeah.
Somebody came in the room and said, "Snowing outside."
Snow.
There's snow. Run.
Boy,
Anyway. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
we've been an hour, Ellis.
Okay.
I need to go. I'm getting stir crazy.
Okay. It has been an hour and 2 minutes. Let's see if we got anybody I missed here.
Yeah, make sure you recognized everybody.
Here I went and bought Homer's Odyssey. Yeah, I'm really into Greek literature right at the moment. I'm reading Gates of Fire. Man, that's a good book.
About the 300
Yeah, the
Spartans.
300. Oh yeah, what's Drawn and Quartered tonight? Drawn and Quartered. Talk about big hits on the internet. Drawn and Quartered will take on PewDiePie, which you talk about your bold ways to get your own audience boosted. Mention something that PewDiePie may later mention himself. So they may get a big boost out of that if they get PewDiePie's attention.
Are you in it? Are you doing it?
No, I don't think so.
That
one will get probably a big response in terms of like people wanting to be in it. I was, I invited in for, they wanted to see me again. And plus it was Christmas. Nobody else in their right mind would be doing it. Okay. I guess I'll end our broadcast, Scott. Hey, everybody, thanks for showing up and making it a lot more interesting.
Let me talk before you go.
Okay.
You always cut me off.
No, I don't want to do that.
Thanks for listening. I'm trying to raise subscriptions on my YouTube site, just Scott Sackett. I think there's a space in there. You should be able to find it. I think Ellis said he has a link to it. But thank you, everybody, for listening to us. I hope that everybody has a good New Year's. I hope that it's a safe New Year's. Please don't do anything dumb. I'll let you determine what is dumb. but thank you for your support. It's good to have everybody here every Wednesday. I really appreciate it. I know Ellis does too.
You
Okay,
betcha.
that's it.
Yeah, it is. It is
That's
fun.
it.
It does make it more interesting
Yeah,
to
it's cool.
have people reaction.
Yeah.
And somebody, oh, it's over. Yeah, some big jerk, Gene
Yeah.
Hole, Ray Thulu. He just got here. Okay, well, yeah. You
Oh,
guys
sorry.
snooze, you lose. Okay, bye, Scott.
Bummer. Bye.
See ya.